Welcome back to X Games Real Snow. It's time to look at last year's bronze medalist, Anto Chamberland, shot by Anto Gibo.
I mean, I think we can all agree Anto has amazing style, super composed, solid rider, never flails his arms too much, and yeah, just really enjoyable to watch.
I mean, I'm stoked to see it. I know he came out with a third last year, so I know he's fired up.
Have you ever filmed with him?
I have. I've filmed with Anto multiple years. He actually helped Dylan and I in the past, and the guy's a beast. Like, he's one of the first guys that I ever knew that had every tool in the book. So it's like we would roll up to Montreal and it was like, okay, we know we're gonna get some hammers because Anto's helping out and he gets after it.
Well, you guys are getting me fired up. Without further ado, let's check out the part. Anto Chamberland, shot by Anto Real.
Real Snow to me is the biggest contest for urban snowboarding. A normal contest, you go there and you deal with the weather and you deal with the setup that was built for you. Real Snow is all about you picking your spot and doing your snowboarding. So you go there, you build it how you see it, and if you make mistake building it, you're paying the price. Real Snow really shows your personality, it shows your strength, it shows your ability to deal with all the elements.
It was minus 35 yesterday, and toe strap were just breaking. And as much as we got good product, things, even us, we break down in the cold. It was so gnarly yesterday.
What's special about Anto is that he's gonna do whatever it takes to get a shot. In the summertime, he trains a lot, and I think that really saves him. You can see that triangle feature thing. The first day he went there, he completely overshot the thing. Like, a regular person would probably have broken both knees and legs, and if you look at the footage, it's just insane. He just goes straight to flat. He was okay, and the next day he just came back to the feature and nailed it.
The challenge of keeping up in the game is really hard because it's not just about the most technical tricks on the down rail nowadays. I feel like being creative, the way you scope, the way you find different things, new spots that have never been done is a really good way to step out of the crowd and then to keep pushing the sport, to just find new ways to ride all the time. Some stuff I do, I don't want to do it again. It's scary, like, it happens more and more that I'm building something and then I just bail and I just don't want to do it anymore. In the end, like, sometimes it's just too big. Sometimes it just doesn't make sense.
You get really scared for your rider because the level of snowboarding has just been going crazy lately, whether it's in the street or in the backcountry, especially as a filmer. It's a little stressful and you definitely don't want your friends to get hurt.
My filmer, Matt, knows so much about all the technical stuff, about cameras, and I can just focus on my snowboarding and I know everything else is gonna be all set and ready. We also had other filmers involved from different backgrounds. We had Tom Hannam from Shredbots working with us this year. It was super helpful. He was with us a big part of Real Snow pretty much the whole time. We also had Russell Chai working with us, and then we worked with Justin Loisel. So all those guys were a big part of it too.
You surround yourself with other filmers, you want to get different angles, because sometimes an angle will allow you to show the height of a feature, but you won't see the distance if it's a gap or if it's a bigger rail. So sometimes you really need two angles to show how big and dangerous a feature is.
It's just what I like is to push myself. It's not like about what people are going to think about it. It's about what I can do better the next year. Like, I don't want to do the same thing I did. It's boring. So I guess that's why I'm pushing myself so hard. I'm Anto Chamberland, and this is my Real Snow part.
Okay. My mind is blown. Yeah, I was insane.
Big stuff.
I don't think I've ever seen somebody cut their tail off just to hit a rail like that. Have you ever seen anything like that? Have you ever thought about doing that in your entire career?
It's like,
It has. I have
close.
seen it, but on a rail like that size with that many kinks, I think that's the biggest one.
That's the thing is
Anyone's done
he at least stepped it up. Like the tail cutting, he stepped
That's
it up.
innovation. That's
Yeah.
part of
and
where
even
the
if
criteria is.
he's still bailed, he'd be in, I mean, he's gonna get trapped in there. Oh, it's gnarly.
What about the ender?
Yeah, the ender was insane. I mean, if you really look at that, I mean, it's kind of a spiked fence, and he's getting towed up the rail. So if he slips off, he's piling into the fence. But even just getting through that gap, I mean, if he's a foot below, he hits the fence. If he's a foot above, his head's gonna smoke that rock wall. So, I mean, that ender is unbelievable.
It's like a double closeout. It's like he's got to get like spit out of the barrel, or there's like no exit.
As judges, what are you guys looking for when you watch that part? What's some of the criteria that you guys are looking out for?
I just like the variety he had, you know, like he had like that gap out back 3 onto that rail, which is kind of like that's a trick that you don't see that often. So he backed up his big stuff with tech stuff, like he had the back 180 on and brought it back on that rail that was like narrow.
Yeah,
like this
that is
narrow
actually a
straight
shot I
rail.
wanted to bring up because I think a lot of times people get wowed by the really big stuff
Yeah.
off the buildings and things like that when a technical trick like doing a backside 180 onto a handrail, landing switch, doing
Right.
the whole thing switch, and then, you know, switch back 180 off.
Right.
But then, like JP said, that's a narrow like stair set. And a narrow stair set, what happens if you fall into the stairs, you ping pong down, your
Yeah.
feet can get caught up in the support bars. That's a really, you know, to me, that was a very high consequence rail.
For sure.
But it might not seem like it if you just start watching it real quick.
He had big features. He had, I think, 15 shots in his part of all hammers. And so it's like, there was second, third angles when there needed to be, but for the most part, it was really smooth. It wasn't, no trickery editing. It was just like super clean. I thought it was dope.